Now, regardless of how you view subscription plugins, if you're one of those people that's just anti under no circumstances, then why are you watching this video? I don't understand that, but I can understand not wanting to go subscription, but I can't understand watching a video when you're anti-subscription. Now, if you want to at least hear what's going on today with it, then stick with me. If not, you probably already left the video at this point. So you may not be aware of it or not, but Slate Digital was actually brought out by SSL. They've owned the All Access Pass and their plugins for some time now. Now, Stephen Slate still has some of his products, being the VSX headphones, Trigger, and a couple of other things out there, the Raven, things like that he's still making, and I'm sure he will come out with something new sometime soon. But as far as his plug-in manufacturing, that was sold over to SSL quite a while ago. Now, SSL has not done a rebranding. They may have taken it over and owned it, which just basically means that money you're paying every month is now going to SSL and not to Stephen Slate. It's basically all that means. Well, this past week, what SSL did is they included all of their plugin bundles, all of the plugins that they make, and made them automatically part of the Slate Digital All Access plan, which means you now get all of Stephen Slate's plugins as well as all of SSL plugins. And on top of that, you get Harrison plugins to boot, and they left the monthly charge the same, making it even more compelling. In a second, we're going to go over there and talk about the plugins that they've included, but they've just made this it was already compelling, and now they've made it even more compelling because you're really getting so much more for your money of really super high-end quality plugins. Let's head over to the computer and let's take a look to see what you get now as far as part of this all-access pass and some of the specifics that you need to understand if you decide to go this route. Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to do is go to SSL's website and download their download manager that they use to be able to keep all of their plugins up to date, as well as, of course, installation and everything. And if you're on Mac, you do that here. If you're on Windows, you do it there. Simply drag that across, and that'll start downloading the download manager for you. And then once you do that, it's going to pull up the download manager right here. And so before we talk about that, let's go over to Slate Digital's. And these are all of the plugins that, as of today, come with the Slate Digital package if you just had that package on its own. And if I remember correctly, I think it's $14.99 a month to subscribe to it. Now, you can purchase these plugins outright, but it's so compelling, I think, at this price range just to subscribe to them. But that's just my 2 cents. So anyway, you can see you get a lot of bang for your buck. Now, on top of that, you're going to get all of these from SSL, including their new channel strip, which is fantastic. I use it all the time. That has their bus compressor. You also get the meter. They've got the new control surface that goes with the UF8. It has an LCD screen where you can use that meter in there. It comes with if you own it, but you can just put that in your application on any particular channel if you want to be able to see what that does. But then you've got all these various plugins. Of course, you've got their Fusion being emulated in various perspectives, I guess. I don't know why they just didn't make one that covered the whole thing. But anyway, you can break it down however you want. And so you get all of those. Now, these are all of the SSL plugins, and that's a lot. And then you combine that with Slate Digital's version, and that's a boatload of plugins for very little price. Now, on top of that, there is a little stickler to this to some degree as of right now. These also come with the Harrison plugins, but you do not get all of these right now. And I did email SSL to ask them about that because I only got 3 plugins on my iLock authorization. I'll show you here in just a second. And the response I got was, those are the only ones available for now, which implied to me that the rest of these are going to be included in it. So if I go over here to my iLock, We can see here real quick. Let's go over to here and let's go into the complete bundle. And you can see right here, the Harrison for now includes these three plugins, which is a 32 bus, Harrison bass flow, and the drum flow. And so, you get let's go around and find them to get the drum flow, which is that one right there. And then you get the 32 bass, or 32 bus, which is that plugin right there, as well as the bass flow. And my guess is, and I have every reason to believe this, the rest of these over time will be ported over. Now, it'll be interesting to see when they decide to, and look like I've got some updates that I could update a lot of these plugins, and I'll do that in a second. But ultimately, this is a pretty huge bang for the buck, and I think this is worth it. I'm going to talk in a second about making a comment about Gobbler. If you're currently paying for your Slate plugins via Gobbler, there's something you're going to need to do about that. Now, I will tell you, I just put out a video telling everybody not to go to OS X or Mac OS Sonoma. And with the last update to Sonoma, I was able to get this to install, the download manager to install after that update. But before that update, I had all kinds of issues, even getting these to install. So don't go to Sonoma yet if you're on a Mac. Be patient and wait for that. But all of these so far, and I have tested all of them, they work fantastic in Ventura on a Mac. And I can't really speak. I haven't tested them all in Windows, but I've tested some of them in Windows, but not all of them in Windows. And I don't foresee any reason why you would have any issues there unless there's something that I'm unaware of. But at the end of the day, this is a pretty compelling bundle at this point. You're getting all of the Slate. And I know I sound like a salesman or whatever, and that's not my job. Like I said, nobody knows I'm doing this video right now. And I have no vested interest in this whatsoever, other than, kind of sharing with you guys some good news if you happen to be a lover of these plugins and you just got more bang for your buck as of last week, and I'm sure more to come in the near future. Now that you've seen what this comes with, let's now talk about one important part. If you have already been on Stephen Slate Digital's All Access plan, and you've done that via Gobbler, this is very important. Before you can get all of SSL's plugins, you have to migrate away from Gobbler and then do that with iLok, okay? And the only way to do that is to cancel your Gobbler account and then start a brand new one again all over using iLok. Once you do that, then you'll be able to authorize all of the SSL plugins that come with it, as well as the Harrison plugins. You'll be able to access those. But here's the catch. Here's one thing you've got to pay attention to, because this guy didn't really pay close attention when I did it, and that is I had just renewed my Gobbler plan. So it was actually due for about another 3 weeks, right? And so what happens if I cancel that one, it's still going to keep those plugins live and available to use via Gobbler until they expire, which they go away. Well, what I should have done is just been patient and wait until that had happened and then signed up for the iLok version of it, and then I would start all over again. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm basically paying double, so don't make the mistake that I made unless you've just got to have it right away, all right? And so keep that in mind. It's super, super, super important. And so anyway, I think they've made it very compelling here. Only you can decide whether it's compelling to you or not. But all I can tell you, having firsthand experience with SSL plugins as well as Stephen Slate plugins, they are very, very, very high quality plugins. My only dislike historically of Slate plugins has been the virtual mix rack. In other words, where you've got multiple FACs on one rack. I understand that this saves space on the GUI, the graphical user interface and everything. However, when you use control surfaces, and I don't care which one, I've yet to find one that maps out properly to Slate Digital's virtual mix rack. In other words, you go between one plugin and the next. You pretty much have to do that either with their Raven and use your finger to adjust any controls, or do it with ultimately, do it with a mouse. Now, technically, with controllers like SSL, as an example, the UF8. You can use the, the one dial control if you hover over that control and adjust the plugins that way. But you don't have full control where you can change multiple things at the same time. So kind of keep that in mind. All right. So leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think of this new plan. If it's something you think you're going to jump on, or if you're anti-subscription, well, then just go ahead and tell us. We know you're out there, but go ahead and chime in again. Why not? Can't hurt anything, right? I'm not telling you, I'm not saying do it or don't do it. I'm just saying these are options. That's all I'm doing, giving you options. I'm not promoting one versus the other. I have no skin in this game whatsoever. SSL has no knowledge of me doing this video. They have no idea I'm doing it. So I'm not gaining anything, but just informing you guys out there. So until next time, hope all of you have a great day. Bye-bye.